What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham, your host of the Idol Breakdown, former runner-up of American Idol, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We got a packed show. We got 14 contestants to go through and my brand new top 10 in order at the very end of the show. Let's get cracking. First with Tristan. You better swing them hips. You better move them ankles. You better do the thing. Move hand, band, hit, choreography stuff. My goodness. This is the part of the show, of the season, where I think all the contestants start to feel themselves in a good way. They're starting to feel confident and they feel like they own the stage, which they do and they should. And I feel like we're getting that from Tristan. But don't let his moves distract you from how good he sounded. Perfect song choice. Brought a ton of soul to it. And I can't possibly imagine him picking a better song and then executing it as good as he did that one. Julia. I've been wanting her to really put it all together for a while, and I think this is her best performance that she's had of the whole season. I thought she stayed controlled and focused. I thought her notes were beautiful. I think I said this about KB, who keeps going by Cabrian, so I'm going to start calling her Cabrian. I said this originally about Cabrian, that maybe she had the best belting tone. I think that by far and away belongs to Julia. When she hits a power note, powerful belting note, the tone of her voice is so gorgeous. And she really stayed in control in this performance here. I think she can do even better. I think there's better for her in the future. Roman. Golly. I loved this performance. I was very entertained. Some people in the watch party were saying, can you just sing the song, please? I get that. But the reason this song was such a great choice for him is a lot of this song is vampy. Like, it's sing the verse, sing the chorus, and let's go to work. Like, let's go for it. And it gave him an opportunity to do that. And since his strength is vamping, vocal acrobatic stuff, he had a significant part of the song that was vamping, maybe half the song, when typically it's 15%. I thought this was a great arrangement. I thought he did great. Someone asked, is he overrunning? Or is he doing what I call look at me runs, which are the worst thing you can do as a vocal performer? A look at me, look at what I can do, anything. Run, note. I don't feel like any run I've ever heard him do is a look what I can do run. I think every run is straight from the heart. Roman can do 20 runs in a song, and someone else can do 3 runs in a song, and that someone else who did 3 runs in a song did too many runs, and Roman, who did 20, didn't overdo it, didn't do too many runs. It's not that you can't sing runs. I love runs. It's that you're not allowed to sing runs that don't come from the heart of the song and aren't serving the song, and instead are serving, look what I can do. Check this out. It needs to be like, even Julia had 1 or 2 that I felt was a run of like, look what I can do, instead of a run that was connected to her fiance, who she was singing about. I hope that makes sense. Let's go on to Cabrian. You said you meet me now, it's 1:45. I thought this was great. I've been a big fan of Cabrian since the beginning. I thought this was a good performance. I think she's pushing the rasp a little too hard. I'd love to just hear her natural voice, and occasionally that natural voice, rasp, is going to come when the emotion elicits that kind of resonance. But it feels like she's trying to turn that switch on for the entire song. And I get it. It's a rock and roll song and she's wanting to give that spunk, but it's not natural to me. And I'm losing the natural tone of her voice. But this was great. This is a great performance all around. Jana. Ew.
I don't really need to look very much further. I don't want to have to go where you don't follow and where you fire.
My goodness. Wow. Man, her note selection. Oh my gosh, put me on the floor. I've never heard this Whitney Houston song done where it was still the Whitney Houston power ballad, diva singer power ballad, but it wasn't a copy of Whitney Houston. It truly was Jana's version of the song. Something like, I don't know, da, 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 instead of da, 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 da. That da, 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 is just so tasteful. And in the moment, when you're expecting the original melody, and then she just does that, lifts her eyebrows and kind of, I don't know, emotes that melody, if that makes sense. It just floors me. And she did it a handful of times. She's the best singer of the show. She's the best vocal arranger of the show. She has the best performances of the show. I don't think it's close anymore that she's the best singer. What scares me is I don't think she's going to make it past this week. I just don't think the American Idol voters value what she has to offer. Specifically, being the best singer, having the best performances. I just don't think they value that when they vote. It's sad, but I would love to be wrong. Because when she sings these notes that feel like they're in the stratosphere, they just seem so effortless and easy and comfortable. And you can tell she's enjoying every note. Okay, so we all watch this show, American Idol, because we love music. Whether we can sing or not, we love what music can do. But I'm telling you, there's no better way to fully receive music, the gift of music, than to actually participate in it and sing in it. There's no greater fun to be had. And I promise, through 4 years of teaching, I believe this with all my heart, everyone can sing if they really want to and they really put in the effort. Because I've taken students, honestly, not anyone I have right now, but back in the day, I've taken students who could not sing at all, had never sung, couldn't sing. It was COVID and they just wanted to try it. Sure enough, after a month or so, they're singing some songs. It sounds pretty good. And they're getting to enjoy music in a way that they may have never thought they could. I've found that most of the time, when people think they can't sing, they've been told that by, not to get deep here, typically a parent when they were young and told that they can't sing. And so they just believed it and say they can't sing. But if you are watching American Idol and you have an opinion, if you hear someone sing and you like it or you don't like it, that means that same opinion, that muscle that can work to decide whether you like someone else or not, can decide whether you like what you're doing with your voice. And that is the only muscle you need to sing. I promise. How cool would it be if you don't sing and then you got in a lesson with me, worked on singing, and then surprised a loved one or a best friend and wrote a song and then just straight up sang it. Nobody knowing you could sing. I'm offering 5-minute calls for free. It's $5 to hold your spot, just so I know you won't ghost me. And if you do, I'll just keep your $5. And we can talk about what you want to do. And if you're not convinced by the end of that, no worries. Or we can do a 15-minute lesson, just jump right in, and we can do that every week, every other week, whatever works for your schedule and your budget. 15 minutes is $50, and then 30 minutes, which is the full length, is $100. And if you go for a lesson with me, you just feel like it's not really what you expected, it's not helping, you don't think it's a good idea to continue with lessons, I'll give you your money back. I'll pay you back that lesson. No questions asked, give you your money right back. So there's really no risk. It's only reward that's sitting there waiting for you to enjoy it. Let's talk about Mia. Gene Simmons, who, by the way, fantastic mentor, says over and over and over again that emotion is the wild card. That is what I've been trying to say and have been saying all season long. And it's like taken me to this point, like this year in my life, to realize it's really the game changer is emotion. But, it can't be pushed. It has to be emotion, not just an imitation of an emotion. If you're singing a sad song, you're going to sing it best if you're actually sad. Not if you show the audience what sad looks like while you sing. Now it's an imitation and it's not connected to something that's real. Has to be connected in your gut, whatever emotion that's coming out. And I recognize this in contestants so much because I pushed so much on my season of Idol. I was connected to a handful of songs, fully connected, but most songs I felt like I had to emote, I had to give that emotion, and I did a lot of pushing. I thought Mia was pushing a little bit. I thought a lot of contestants were pushing. For me, as much as I love Mia, this was so country that it made me think only country fans will enjoy it. That might be a big enough voting block for her to win the whole competition. Who knows? But I think if she sings songs like Daddy's Hands, she gets everybody. She gets the country crowd and she gets me. Keiko. I thought Keiko was someone who didn't smile, which is great. If he would have smiled in this song, I'd have been screaming at my camera right now. But he didn't. He's on the right track. I think he was pushing just a little bit emotionally, like I was talking about with Mia and with my own performances. Again, that's why I can recognize it, because I did it so poorly. I think he wanted to show what angst felt like, and so he gave us an angst face. And then he kept singing. I appreciate the effort to show emotion that is appropriate for the content of the song. Now it just has to get real, and then he just has to believe that that's enough to feel that real thing. It's a balance, and it's tough, but when it connects, it's beautiful and feels so good for everybody involved. I don't think this arrangement for this song was best suited for a full band. When he was playing just guitar, he and Gene, I was like, oh my gosh, be still my beating heart. This sounds and feels so good. I already in that moment had doubts about the full band playing that song. And sure enough, it just didn't quite fit for me until the end. Now, when he went into chest voice and started belting, that's the best vocal that he's given us for the whole season. The band sounded great in that context when it got big, and the ending was great. Ended really strong. I think he was one of the last three contestants in like, oh no, who's going to make it for his benefit. I think that scares Keiko fans and is going to make them vote more. I don't think he was in the bottom three. Gosh, I hope he wasn't. Emmy.
Turn down the bed.
One, she's got to stop reading comments. You've got to guard your heart. Guard yourself. This performance was a tough one. I really loved what she did last week, like a lot. Coming off of that, I don't think she matched that this week. Picked a great song, but with legendary songs like that, you gotta murder, because you've got to overcome this, oh my gosh, this song is done every year. It's so overdone. Even someone in the watch party, a Groove Crew member, asked, like, okay, if you could take out 5 songs from ever being sung on American Idol again because they're so overdone, which 5 would it be? I'm sure you can say more than 5, but which 5 come to mind? And it was referring to this song being one of them. You can sing any song ever if you do it right. When I was on the show, I heard producers say, please, nobody sing Sunday Morning by Maroon 5. Don't sing that song. Everybody sings that song. Do not sing that song. You hear people say, don't sing a Whitney Houston song. Don't do this. There are all these unwritten rules. Don't do this song. Don't do that. If you're good enough and your arrangement is good enough, those rules don't apply to you. But you have to overcome some stuff. You've got to murder it. You've got to do something different, or you've got to do it as good as anyone's ever heard that song done before. And Emmy didn't reach that. Unfortunately, that's the bar that she put for herself when she picked this song, and she didn't hit it, in my opinion. And she had a big miss vocally too in the song, which doesn't help. My heart is breaking for Ziggy because I told him that we could release our duet that we made when we hit 80,000 subscribers, and I thought it'd happen quickly, and I just overshot the number. We're so close. Let it be this week. Please let it be this week so we can release this cover. 79, I think we've got like 79.2 thousand. We need 80. Just 800 more subscribers. These videos get between 15 to 30,000 views, and a majority aren't subscribers. Please, for Ziggy's sake, if you're hearing this, if you're watching this, please hit the subscribe button. I don't even care if you unsubscribe after we hit 80. Just please let us hit 80. If you're still listening to this, that tells me you like the video. Let the thumb reflect your feelings inside, the deepest parts of your heart, which is that you like this. And YouTube has a cool little animation. When you hit the thumb, little sparkles come out, and then like fireworks, and then it is just highlighted. So highlight that thumb. Jordan, I got really hyped when he started the song because it was down and it was slower. It felt slower and it was different. And it was like ballady and moody and R&B. And I was like, yes. Then it got to the build and then it went all the way in. And it was like, oh, I want to dance with somebody. And that killed me because, in my opinion, when you're doing the song, you either got to go all the way dance party or all the way different. And when he started different and slow, I wish he would have stayed there the whole time, because we all know I'm not a big fan of the like, come on, let's get up, dance, woo, come on, hey. I'm not into that almost ever on American Idol. Ballads are just better, and this could have been so sick. So if he was like, oh, I want to dance with somebody, keep my end. Let's call it C. So he starts like really soft, and it feels slower in the tempo too, like, and when the night falls, and it's just vibey, and I'm into it. My loneliness calls, and then it was like, oh, I want to dance with somebody, and I was like, stay there, my loneliness calls. Oh, I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody, yeah. Oh, I want to dance with somebody. And just kept it like R&B smooth, where the dance is like, come here, girl, and dance with me, like slow dance. Oh, The potential that could have been, like, to stay there instead of running around the stage and dancing. And maybe that's the vibe for some people. Maybe that's the vibe for most people. But I am always going to be here for the ballad, the more emotional, more interesting vocal, musical take. I did like the major 6 ending. So that quote unquote jazz chord that Katie was referring to. So if we're here, I want to dance with somebody. It's that chord right there. It's called a Picardy third for you nerds like me. McKenna. So they made it clear that she was sick. Some people were freaking out in the watch party, like that Katie said, like was accusing her of lying that she was sick. If anyone is freaking out about that, don't freak out about that. Katie was trying to find a clever way to say that she was sick for her so McKenna didn't have to say it herself. Ryan was trying to give her that too. Also, Katie's friend literally met McKenna in the doctor's office and texted her about it, how great she was, which is just crazy. So she was trying to show that. She didn't actually mean like, wow, you weren't lying, like thought she was lying. So everybody relax. You've gotta, in my opinion, in this instance, because we're all human, we all get sick. It's what you do about it. Things happen to us. Make sure they're happening for you, not just to you. In this situation, which happens to everyone, it's happened to me where you have a full arrangement, a full band, everything's practiced, ready to go, day of the show, your voice starts to fail. And you feel like you've got to stick with what you guys practiced because you've practiced it. The reality is you don't. It would have been ballsy, but I think it would have been incredible if she would have had the audacity, the gall, to go day of show to Chris Pooley and be like, my voice is gone. I'm sick. We got to do this just acoustic guitar and vocal and make it sultry. Make it like work. Make the rasp work for it. We got to do that. And they would have totally done it. And it would have been this awesome story. They'd have been like, she changed it last minute because she was sick and that's what a star does and it sounded so good. Lionel even said, he's like, if you were sick, that's a sexy sounding performance. That's exactly what she should have leaned into and not been afraid to take away the whole arrangement, in my opinion, if that was available to her, that option, which I bet it was, but I don't know. I wasn't there. Jack Blocker. Man. Guys, I don't think we can overstate how impressive it is that he went from the first of 20 to sing and got voted into the top 10 straight up. Singing a middle of the road, non-impressive song. Now he's singing impressive songs. Very impressive songs. This is my favorite performance of his, I think, the whole season. And he really might win the whole thing. Really might win. This was one of the best performances of the night. For me, it was right behind Jana. And he's really onto something. Naya. Holy crap. These were my favorite runs of the whole season. That's hard to say with Roman. Roman has some really clever runs. But these runs that Naya, the runs that she was giving us, were so tasteful, falsetto, so impressive, so difficult, so complex. And unfortunately, even though this was the best she's done all season, murdered, full of pizzazz, stage presence, all of it, like I said with Jana, I don't think America values that, the voters anyway. And that's why she went home. Because she might be one of the best singers. She might have had maybe the best performance of the night, but that's not of high value. People are motivated to vote for who they adore, who they love, who they're rooting for. And a great voice can give you that, but not as much as other things, not as much as a personality that people feel like they're really attached to or a story that they're attached to. When it comes to raw talent, that is a small part of the equation which is why we see Nia go home. Next, I'm going to talk about Will and Abby and then tell you my top 10. Before I do that, I have got to tell you about our members. Our members have been blowing up. The Groove Crew has been growing exponentially, and my heart, like the Grinch that stole Christmas, is growing 7 sizes, whatever that Dr. Seuss rhyme is. We've got Robert Penner, Kinda Grace Frost, Ishan Sopti, Liberty Nah, Shelly Bradfield, Nifty, Sarah Faith, Hippopotamus, Bosch, Lori V, Georgia, Audrey Wolf, Michael Scholler, Glinda Finn, Irene Bossert, Emil Emelo, Pajama Mama, Justin Lee, Jay Jarrett, Will Donahue, Clay, the Monroe SD, Hannah MG, Laura Mealy, Kevin Madden, Barbara Hale, Cynthia Gilbert, Monique Green, Juan Carlo Perez, Julia House, Amber Rock, Charlie Lipschultz, Wells Souls, Chantel Cassivi, Jonathan Swinson, Chris, Jeff Talbot, The Letter Q, which is incredible, Susie Q, Chris Brum Sings, Dinesh Balasingham, Jan Beckstrand, AJ Carroll, Ariana Victor, and Holly Ladd. Welcome to the crew. If you want to be a part of the crew as well, get a piece of this watch party life where we get to watch American Idol all together, talk in the commercials and during the show on the chat, and watch me react and kind of give you my opinions during the commercial breaks, kind of an early version of this video. You can join by hitting the join button below this video. It's $5 a month. That's it. And you can enjoy the last month of where it gets to the nitty gritty and the finale, all as a Groove Crew member for $5. Will. I think he pushed a little bit of his style, country sound, rasp thing, and I lost some of the words. But the reality is he's flying through and shows no signs of stopping. There really is no ceiling for him. I don't know where he's going to go, but I have a feeling he's going to be around for a while. Then we end with Abby.
The yellow brick road.
Abby, I told my friend before she started to sing, she has so much talent, and I'm just waiting for her to put it together. Any day, she could put a performance that would be like one of the greatest in Idol history. Like, she's got that talent. This was in the right direction. This was very strong. I love the just piano, no band decision. Love that decision. She's got some gorgeous note selections, and she has some note selections that I don't like as much. Total personal preference, in my opinion. Every note could have been perfect for you guys. For me personally, there was 1 or 2 look what I can do runs instead of runs that were fully connected to the emotion of the song. Some runs that I feel like just lasted a little too long, or maybe 3 notes too long. It's pretty nitpicky. It's pretty personal preference there, but I really feel like she's not quite connected emotionally. Singers think that emotion means, okay, let me show you emotion. That's not what emotion means. Emotion means authentically feel the thing and sing from that place, period. Once that happens, you can't go wrong. You can't. You don't oversing. You don't make bad choices. Everything is tasty. I thought Abby was really close to this, the closest she's been. One of my favorite performances from her, and I think she's got more to come. I think she's got better in her, and I think we're going to see it. My top 10 has changed. This is the top 10 in order. If you disagree with me, you've got a great place to confront me about it. And if you're watching this as a premiere, then you can click the live stream link for the Q&A and argue with me about my top 10, and I will fight. I will fight tooth and nail about this top 10. It is my personal favorite top 10. It's not a prediction. I feel like I can get close to making predictions now that I am getting in a feel of how America's voting. But this is just my favorite top 10. This show premieres every Monday and Tuesday night at 6 o'clock Central Time. I was pretty harsh on some contestants, but remember, It's not me, the critic, who even counts in the first place. It's not the one who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the one who is actually in the arena.